it's Michelle Loves Books. Welcome back to my channel. 7 on Sunday is a group started by G-Swizzel on Goodreads. I will leave all the links in the description box below. Today's topic is 7 new releases for the end of the year. It's honestly too hard to only pick 7 books, but here you go. The first book on this list comes out September 15th. This seems like such a perfect book if you are looking for something spooky to complement Halloween spooky vibes. It is called Horrid by Katrina Leno. And look at that cover. I really like it. I personally think that it's really pretty. This is supposed to be a contemporary novel about Jane. By the way, please excuse the circles under my eyes, and I just realized now that I started talking, I've had this cold. The last 3 days I've been kind of sick and I've been feeling this chest congestion, but today is the first day I woke up and I've got all my energy back, feeling really positive and healthier. But now that I'm starting to talk, I can feel the chest congestion causing issues. So I'm apologizing. Anyway, this book, Horrid, is supposed to be a contemporary novel about Jane, who is a California girl whose father dies. She and her mother move to an old house in Maine where her mom grew up so that they can have a fresh start. But their new home seems to be bringing up some unpleasant history and memories for her mom. Jane is also struggling and having some issues of her own. I think that she is getting bullied and stuff at her new school. This takes place during New England autumn, so it seems like it's going to be a really atmospheric book. This book deals with grief and rage, mental illness. It's said to have twisted, spine-chilling elements like Stephen King and Agatha Christie. So I am so here for this book. I am really loving all of these atmospheric, dark, twisty books lately. The second one is called Kingdom of the Wicked, is the first in a new series by Kerri Maniscalco. This book is said to come out October 27th. I am so thrilled for this book. I loved her other book, Stalking Jack the Ripper, although I haven't continued with that series, but this book is about Amelia and her twin sister, Victoria, who they are Streggy, I think that's how you say it. It is basically the term for witches. They live secretly among humans, but after her sister is murdered, she seeks vengeance. She meets a guy named Wrath, who's described as a wicked prince from hell. He is actually trying to solve the mystery, a series of murders that seem to be targeting women. But things really aren't as they seem. This book also takes place in Sicily, which I think is really cool. The third book is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. This comes out October 6th. This one sounds really interesting. Addie LaRue makes a bargain to live forever, but she is cursed that no one will remember her. After 300 years, she runs into a guy in a bookstore who remembers her name. That's all I got from this book. I know it's super short, little blurb of a synopsis, but I feel like that's kind of all you would want to know anyways. I guess it's kind of a cute romance. The fourth book is coming out November 17th, and it is called These Violent Delights. This is the first in a new series by Chloe Gong, and this is a Romeo and Juliet retelling. I don't know if that's the right terminology. This book takes place in Shanghai, and I just had to mention this book because any Shakespearean books are so intriguing to me to start with. But I particularly like that this is told with Chinese characters and takes place in Shanghai. I really hope that we get to really fully feel the setting and the culture. The fifth book on my list is called Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth. This book comes out October 20th. I added this to my most anticipated books primarily for the quick blurb, as it hits everything that I love, before I even read the full synopsis. It is a dark horror comedy that takes place in a cursed New England boarding school for girls. It is described as wickedly whimsical, sapphic love, rebellious female spirit. To fully describe this book, so there was this bad heroine society that was founded in 1902. The girls in this secret society died. I don't know if it was died mysteriously or they don't really explain it, but they left behind a book. Oh, they described it as macabre deaths. So yeah. Anyways, they died and they left behind this book. I assume that the mystery of what happened to each of them is in this book. So shortly after that, the doors to the school closed, and a century later the school reopens and they're going to film a movie out of the school. I assume they're basically doing a mock-up of what happened. Kind of gives me the If We Were Villains vibes. So they're gonna do a movie out of the school. The past and the present get entangled. The sixth book on my list is called Lyrics and Curses. It's the first in a new series called The Cursed Hearts by Candice Robinson. I believe that this is also a debut novel, and this sounds like a really cute romance about Lark, who feels misunderstood by her family. She works at this like quirky shop called Bubbles. What is it called? Oh, Bubbles and Oddities. She's interested in the attention of this guy named Auden, who works at the record store next door. Auden is dealing with the grief of his parents' death and also potentially inheriting his father's issues. So that is very vague. He keeps Lark at arm's length. One day these strangers come to town and Lark and Auden's tragic past become maybe enmeshed. That's an interesting new word. Enmeshed in a cursed future. I kind of get fairy vibes from this. As it says, these strangers bring a mysterious object, they play an eerie flute, and then I guess if whatever they're supposed to do, whatever they figured out they're supposed to do, Lark and Auden could be, if they fail, they could be trapped for eternity in a place beyond reality. So it's definitely supernatural of some kind, potentially a fairy tale-esque story. The last book on my list is called Instant Karma by Marissa Meyer. This book comes out November 3rd. I really just like Marissa Meyer's work. Our main character discovers that she can suddenly dole out instant karma. So she enjoys this ability and she eagerly makes sure that people get what's coming to them. But her power consistently backfires when it's directed at Agent Quint, who is her mortal enemy. So she starts to learn all of this stuff about him, and I guess the way they explained it is it kind of softens her up to this person. So I'm sensing a hate to love romance here. I just really like the idea that we have a character with a newfound ability that they love to have and explore all the ways in which to use it. I would definitely be that person. And I'm sorry, but instant karma, have we not all just been like, that person was such a jerk, karma's a bitch, and like, I just wish that I could be there to see when karma gets them back. So I feel like this is really gonna hit a lot of satisfying marks. And we're all going to be wishing for her power. Like I said, it was so difficult to choose only 7. I didn't even get to any books that are coming out in December. Please feel free to tell me about any books that you are excited for, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!